So how long does it take to draft your estate plan? My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm an estate planning and business law attorney, and today we're going to talk about the three main time periods that you're going to encounter when it's time to create an estate plan. Now, this is one of the most common questions I get when someone comes to my office. It's how long is this whole process going to take? And when we look at an estate plan, there's going to be three main time periods we deal with. The first, how long it takes to draft the document. The second, how long it takes to actually sign the document. And the third is how long until you actually need a new one. So for those of you who aren't sure what we're talking about today, an estate plan is more than just your will. So the documents in your estate plan start with your will, but they're also going to include your healthcare power of attorney, a HIPAA authorization, a durable power of attorney, and guardianship forms if you have children who are under the age of 18. Now, everybody's estate plan will be different. You may not need all of those documents for your estate plan, but that's a good guide for the main documents you're going to encounter. And if you do more advanced estate planning, you may want to add a trust to that list of documents, but that's a little bit beyond the scope of this video today. So the first time period we're dealing with is how long is it going to take to get your documents drafted? Some people will take years. I have clients who from 2.5 years ago still haven't signed documents. Some people can have it done in hours. If you have a really basic will, a really basic estate plan, maybe you're heading out the next day on vacation and you just want to make sure you have something in place before you leave, you could probably even get it done pretty quickly. But most people will be somewhere in the few weeks to a month range when it comes to how long it takes. Now again, if we're doing very advanced planning, maybe an irrevocable trust or an advanced trust, or we're using LLCs to do some planning, that's going to take longer because we have more documents to draft. But what you should know about these time periods is it's really going to be in your hands as to how long it takes. When you're working with an attorney to create an estate plan, the bottleneck we usually run into is how long it takes you to get me the information I need to prepare your documents. So if you're on top of things and you get the documents and you get the information over to your attorney quickly, you can have your estate plan drafted pretty quickly as well. The second time period people ask about is the signing ceremony. How long does it take to sign my estate plan? Now, once again, it's going to depend upon what documents we're using. But assuming you're just doing your basic set of documents, even the 5 we talked about before, and throwing in a trust, it really only takes about 10 to 15 minutes to sign the actual documents. One of the things that can take time when you create it on the schedule is making sure you have your witnesses in the room. We usually want 2 witnesses, and we don't want them to be people that are involved in the documents. Now, depending upon the documents you're signing, you may need a notary public. Many of them need witnesses. And then once the documents are signed, it may take a little more time for your attorney to sit with you and get the documents into a final format. Working with my office, we create a checklist for all the documents that are in your plan, and we have an estate planning folder that will have all of your information put into it. It's actually like a bank bag that you can zip and unzip to keep your documents in it. So after we're done signing the documents, we just need to get everything in the right place and get you out the door. So you should really budget about half an hour or so if you're going to sign your estate plan documents. And the final time period we're worried about is how long until I need a new estate plan. So the first thing you should know is when you draft an estate plan, it's normally for a lifetime. So if you don't ever update it, let's say it's from 35 years ago, it is still valid if that's the last will that you created. Now, the reality is most people aren't going to wait 35 years to update their estate plan. In fact, what they're going to do is when you run into major life events like a divorce, a marriage, you have kids, or you have grandkids, it's a great time to check in with your estate planning attorney to make sure that your documents reflect what you want to have happen. Especially in the case of kids and grandkids, that's going to really alter what you want to do with your estate plan. If they're your children and they're under the age of 18, you want to make sure we have guardians set up for them and a trustee to manage their money. Now, if you don't have any life events, if it's just a nice, quiet life is rolling along, no kids, no nothing, we still recommend that every 3 years you check in with an attorney. Just go over what's in your documents and make sure they reflect what's needed for you at that time. Now, with all of these time periods, there's 2 ways you can do it. The first is you can do it yourself, in which case all of these time periods, how long it takes to draft it, and how long until you need a new one, and how long it takes to sign it, they're all going to be in your control. An attorney's not going to have anything to do with it. But you may find that it takes you a lot longer to create these documents than it would with the other way to do it, which is to work with professionals. Work with your estate planning attorney, talk to your financial advisor when you do that yearly review. Make sure they're looking at your estate plan and looking at the accounts you have under management and that you've got the right estate plan in place for it. If you need help and you want to get started on an estate plan, you can go to my website, andrewmayers.com, and there's a red legal strategy session button on the main page. Click that button and you'll be taken to my personal calendar where we can set up a legal strategy session. We'll talk for about 15 to 20 minutes and go over what you know about the process, what your goals are, and give you some good next steps you can take to create that estate plan. In the end, just remember how long this is going to take is really going to be up to you.